Good evening, supervisors, staff, and guests. Please sign in. Do we have everybody?
Not yet. Supervisor Miller, Supervisor Hoffberger, you haven't signed in.
Signing a resolution.
Huffberger, have you signed in?
Yeah, it says press on my little thing there.
Oh, doesn't show mine. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, fine.
Everybody else? Okay,
You have to hit
Balance.
yours.
I'm in.
No, you're not. You have to hit that.
I hit it twice.
There you go. Third time's the charm.
20 here.
All right, we have 20 attending the meeting. We do have a quorum. Would you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I need a motion for approval of the agenda. I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Diedrich. Any questions on the agenda? If not, please vote your ballot. Supervisor Voigt, would you vote, please? Okay, thank you. We have 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent, so it has been approved. I need a motion to approval of the minutes. And I have a motion by Supervisor Latour and a second by Supervisor McCann. Are there any questions at all on the minutes? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. I cannot vote deep.
Jim.
Jim. But I vote yes, so we can't do it until I can. My screen went dead. It just wouldn't let me do anything. Yes. All right, we have 18 yes, 2 abstain, so the minutes have been approved. Okay, communications
I have no communications.
and public participation, I believe we have one person. If you'd like to come up, please. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please mention your name and where you're from, etc.
Sounds great. All right, good evening. My name is Eugene Prentice. I live at N1781 Gladwater Beach Road, right in the southwest corner of the county. Topic of discussion tonight is flock cameras. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety. That was a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Did this board get input from law enforcement, private companies, and political figures, or did it try to get the input from we the people? For over 2 years, law enforcement has had this new ability for the first time in history to do searches without a warrant. Whenever law enforcement wants to see where your whereabouts are, they can. Oh, and these are the same people with qualified immunity. How did this start? Did a political person persuade this body? That was the first response I got from law enforcement. Why would this body purposefully disregard the Fourth Amendment? This is my educated opinion, felt by the majority of most Americans. If these ALPRs, which stand for Automatic License Plate Readers, so good, why are so many counties, cities, and colleges in this great state getting rid of them? Have anybody in this room actually looked into why? Might be a reason. Garrett Langley, the owner of Flock, said DFLOC.org was a terrorist organization just for disagreeing with the Flock safety system. How about law enforcement misuse of the system? In Milwaukee, where there was an officer who was following his ex, and then the officer that was investigating the officer was doing the same thing. And both of them got fired, but I don't think either one of them spent a day in jail. But finally, today, if you actually look at Fox 11, you'll see a person in Menasha that I think got 6 months for doing the same thing, law enforcement. But here's a power that we're giving these people with qualified immunity, but we can trust them, right? All right. So have people been wrongly identified by Flock safety? Yes, yes they have. Has Flock safety caused harm? Yes, just the opposite of the word safety. Is it better that 100 guilty persons should escape than one innocent person should suffer? Another quote from Benjamin Franklin. I've served my country for 23 years of active duty military service, and I want to continue to serve. Actually, I ran for school board here in this county just recently as well. I'm very concerned that we're heading down the wrong path by trusting our law enforcement with a tool that was not intended and is against our Fourth Amendment rights. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right, moving on to special business. We have Joanne Metzen here, who's the director of our special education, and she's going to present information on the county special education program.
Looks like my PowerPoint is on. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here today to talk about the Calumet County Special Education Program. I'd like to give you a little overview of what I hope to speak about today. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to give you a little background about our program, tell you about some staffing data, some student data, a little bit about how our department functions and what impact we make, and then I would like to share with you some information about our mental health grant, and I'll ask if there are some questions. So again, my name is Joanne Metzen. I'm the Director of Special Education for Calumet County, and I was a teacher and principal, happened to be in Sunrise Elementary in Darboy, which some of you would be familiar with because of the connection to the county, back in 1996. After working in the Kimberly Area School District, I was an elementary principal for 13 years in the Manitowoc Public School District before becoming their Director of Pupil Services for about 10 years. I had a short stint as the CSIS 7 Director of Special Education before we made a shift over to Calumet County, and I have been working for Calumet County since March of 2023, supporting special education programming across the 5 districts that we serve. And so that's a little bit about me. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our program. Calumet County has been supporting special education for over 50 years. Some of you may have known of a gentleman named Nassan Barlev who had been the leader in that programming for many, many years. And so these 5 school districts that work together, and that's Brillion, Chilton, Hilbert, New Holstein, and Stockbridge, have been working to support individuals with disabilities for many, many years. And throughout that collaboration, we have maintained one of the only 4 CDEBs, those are Children with Disability Education Boards, in the state of Wisconsin. So I think all of you know that we have a wonderful board of supportive people here who support special education. Some of them are here tonight that serve on that Calumet County Children with Disabilities Education Board. there are 4 other counties who have CDEBs, or Children with Disabilities Education Boards. And in case you're curious, one of them is Brown County. Many of you may have heard of the school called Sybil Hop. That falls under the umbrella of a CDEB. There's also a CDEB in Marathon County and Woolworth County, and then Calumet County. And I feel very fortunate that we have this opportunity in our county so that individuals with disabilities can have the collaboration that we need to meet their needs. And so, I'm not clicking my own PowerPoint very well, but here we go. With some, I want to tell you a little bit about the staff that we have available to serve our students. So we have 22 special education teachers, 6 specialists, and those specialists are people like speech and language pathologists, a transition coordinator, an autism consultant, an occupational therapist, just to give you a sense, and 14 paraprofessionals. Those are the people that assist teachers in serving needy students who have those individual education plans, or IEPs. There's also 2 courthouse staff. I'm one of them, and I have an assistant. So that's 44 staff members that are focused on supporting students with disabilities in our county. Happy to say that we've had wonderful longevity with our employees, and we had some staffing changes this past year, so we did hire 17 positions. We worked to hire 17 positions over this summer and have been very successful. So what about the students that we serve? I'd like to tell you some information about them. There are about 600 students who have IEPs or are a student with a disability in those 5 districts total. And so New Holstein and Chilton are our largest school districts that have individuals with disabilities, and they are at around 180 students in each district that have disabilities and therefore that specialized plan called an IEP. Brilliant follows up next, more in the mid-120s, with Hilbert around a 75 number and Stockbridge serving just under 40 students approximately. Of course, when we're working in a people profession, people come and go. So it's difficult to give anybody an exact number of students. When I was the director of special education in Manitowoc, there could be days that we would get 6 new students in at a single school that had, an IEP. And so, or people move out, come in, it changes. So those are some approximate numbers for you based on an official count that takes place through the Department of Public Instruction. So one component of the work that we do is that for a long time, Chilton has accepted students who live in the residence of the other 4 districts. So just to give you a for instance, there could be a student who is living in the Brilliant attendance area who has needs that are better met in Chilton. And that team of people who meet about that student's individual plan could choose to place that child in Chilton. It happens to be that there have been between 10 and 15 of those students from the other 4 districts who are attending school in Chilton because of that service. And so we certainly staff Chilton appropriately to meet the needs of those students. And that is one piece of student data that I wanted to share with you, that when you may hear about that, students from the other 4 districts can attend student in, and have services in Chilton, I wanted you to know approximately what number that was. And again, it's typically between 10 and 15 students who would be attending there. We've got lots of internal processes in place to be sure that we're placing the right students and having great conversations with people, making sure the right people are included. There's also a lot of legal business around being in special education. So we follow all of those rules as well when we're making any kind of placement decision for students, and I wanted to make sure you knew that we don't take that lightly. So when it comes to special education in the county, there are so many benefits to the program that we are providing for districts. one of the greatest things is that we have 5 districts who are able to work together and collaborate with me around how to best serve individuals with disabilities. And so I meet regularly with representatives from each of those school districts. We're able to troubleshoot individual student problems, talk about legal changes, make decisions about programming, et cetera. Certainly, one of our other impacts is having the ability for smaller rural districts to be able to have another placement option for students. There are times that I call it the hub, but the services that we provide in Chilton are pretty necessary. They can get a transfer-in student, for example, who has needs that they don't have anyone like that student in their district. They don't have a teacher focusing on that, and that's when they give a call and we start talking about whether we need to discuss a possible change in placement. So our program provides staff, it provides supplies and curriculum materials, equipment, and so much more to meet the needs of students with disabilities in our county. I also am very involved in the supervision and evaluation of all of those 44, or technically 40, because I don't supervise or evaluate myself, that's 43 people. That has been fabulous as well, because we do that in collaboration with the school districts so we can support teachers, help them grow, give them feedback, and help them make sure that they are the best people they can be to serve the students with disabilities in our county. I'm excited about something new this year. We wrote and received a $4.1 million mental health grant. It's a federal grant, and it allowed us to hire 4.5 school psychologists. We are pretty close to filling all of those positions. I may have all of them filled by the end of the week. We're very close. And one mental health program coordinator, who I also hired. That's a full-time position. So those additions will impact every one of those 5 districts, where students will be able to receive increased one-on-one and small group mental health support, because that's the focus of the work that our school psychologists are going to do. Oftentimes in school districts, they call them school psychs or school psychologists, are way overworked with special education evaluations and other kinds of paperwork things that are required, and unfortunately rarely have a chance to actually interact and have one-on-one or small group time with students. And so the fact that we're able to provide a full-time person in Chilton, a full-time person, maybe a little more if I get somebody hired in Brillion, an 80% person in New Holstein, et cetera, we have, I think, making a huge impact in mental health services for kids across our county. And I'm feeling really good about that. That grant runs through 2029. And one of the goals that we wrote in the grant was to try to get 1 school psychologist for every 500 students. So we were taking into consideration their current staffing when we moved forward to determine how much increased staffing that they would receive. So that is a real plus. So with 44 special educators and 6 people hired through the grant, we have about 50 staff members that are part of our department. There are about 600 kids with special education needs, and I'm very happy to be doing this work because it's impacting our county very specifically. I meet students and teachers every day who are having positive experiences because of the work that the county is doing supporting individuals with disabilities in our community. So those are some basic things I wanted to share with you today, and I would welcome any questions if there are any.
Question for her?
All right. Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I have two quick questions.
Sure.
The mental health grant that allows you to hire these individuals, do they service just children with disability or any student in those schools?
Thank you for that question. Any student in those schools.
Well, simple answer, that's great. I appreciate that. The second question is, when we first took over from CISA 7, and you came on board, there was a concern by one of the school districts that they weren't getting their fair share. Has that been resolved?
We did do some staffing changes this past spring. I shored up a system of staffing that did require some changes. And so there is a more equitable plan for staffing across the 5 districts. So my short answer to you is yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Supervisor McCann?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I live in Appleton, and it, part of Calumet County. I was wondering about the big school districts that are also in Calumet County and serve kids. Do you coordinate with them as well? I mean, for training or for any other additional service that you can provide and get some synergies?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I feel lucky that I've had experience in both the Kimberly Area School District and also the Manitowoc Public School District because I gained a lot of connections in various parts. And I have connections with people in Appleton, Kaukauna, et cetera. And although we don't have any formal system where we are getting together, we have a great network of people that are able to reach out and support each other throughout the work that we're doing. And so we do learn from each other. There's a state organization called WCAS. We're connected to our local agency, which is CESA 7, a Cooperative Educational Service Agency 7, a subset of DPI based out of Green Bay. And so we meet each other there as well. But that would probably be how I would answer that. Yeah, that would be how I'd answer that question.
All right. Supervisor Miller?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm curious about the level of education that these teachers are most bachelor degrees or many master's degrees?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if I can answer that. They all definitely have bachelor's degrees, but I haven't looked at that piece of data recently to know of our 22 teachers, how many of them have master's degrees. I would have to look up that information. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Circling the wagon, how much experience do most of these have in other areas of the country where they're coming from?
Yeah. When you say other areas of the country, you threw me off a little bit, but I think you're asking, do we have experienced teachers? Is that, am I getting to the core of that? Okay, so we have teachers everywhere from this is their very first experience teaching to people who have taught many years. I believe we have a teacher who perhaps, I think she's at 32 years of teaching and everything in between. And although I didn't bring my list today with exactly where everyone falls on that, I am pleased to say that we have had wonderful retention in our program, which means that people have been here multiple years. And so, yeah.
With satisfaction, what they're doing, what they're helping the kids with.
Yes, I think that there's satisfaction with not only the county, but their local school districts. And educators get into the work because they want to impact kids, so they must be feeling positive about that. I met with all of the educators today. They came in for one of 4 meetings, and it's such a joy to meet with them and be able to hand out longevity celebrations to them. There's envelopes, a little something in there for them, for example, and they're excited. Many of them had been previously employed by CESA 7, which was also funded through our CDEB. It gets a little complicated to explain what was happening before 2023, but many of those staff members are still with us today that were employed by CESA 7. Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Joanne.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
All right, moving on to our resolutions. We have Resolution 2026-11.
Resolution amending the 2026 budget for the United States Environmental Protection Agency Coalition Assessment Grant introduced by the Administrative Services Committee.
Do I have a motion to,
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is very straightforward. We need to amend the budget because we're going to have this grant available to us, so we're going to have increased revenue and increased expenses to support this. And I think this is the follow-on, the second time we've gotten this grant, if I remember correctly. So Admin Services passed it unanimously, and I hope the board does as well. Thank you.
all right, thank you, Supervisor Diedrich. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. See, I'm off again. Yes, I'm voting yes. All right. All right, it's passed by a 2/3 vote, 21 yes, 0 nays. All right, moving on to Resolution 2026-12.
Resolution amending the 2026 budget for the repair of the reverse osmosis system at Calumet County Park, introduced by the Administrative Services Committee and the Parks Commission. Committee.
All right, do I have a motion, please? A motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This one is a little bit different. We're asking you to pass a resolution that will take $28,000 of unexpended sales tax revenue to pay for repair to the reverse osmosis system at Calumet County Park. Now, we have basically a catastrophic, unexpected failure of some of the filters in the system, and if we don't repair them, we can't get water to over 2/3 of the people in the park. So we ask that you pass this one so that our people can enjoy all the amenities at the park with healthy, safe drinking water. Thank you.
Supervisor Schwallenberg, did you have anything to add? Yes, Chair?
Just that we have two systems, and this is the newest one that's going. The fixtures are brass, and if we saw a picture, you could see how brass turns green or whatever, so they're going to be replaced with plastic pipes. And our well is 600 feet deep, and it's as Adam described it, prehistoric water. So I appreciate it if you'd vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Schwallenberg. Supervisor Miller, you had a question?
Yes, I want to comment. When we took the tour the other year, Adam was right there, and there was a group of us that explained what was going on, so I'm for getting it repaired. Yeah, I've got the same thing in my home, reverse osmosis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. If there are no other questions, please vote your ballot. (21) yes, 0 nay. That resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2026-13.
Resolution approving changes to the Rural Functional Classification System in Calumet County, introduced by the Highway Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Booty, would you speak to this resolution, please?
Thank you very much. So just to explain, you've probably read the resolution here, but I'll just emphasize, even though it states that it is a rural functional reclassification, that is simply because this is outside of a metropolitan planning organization area. The actual streets are within the city of Chilton and city of New Holstein. We are changing the functional classification from local street to major collector due to the presence of a hospital and a high school, respectively, in those cities. Thank you.
All right, are there any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 21 yes, 0 nays, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2026-14.
Resolution authorizing Clean Boats, Clean Waters application for Calumet County, introduced by the Land and Water Conservation Committee.
All right. I have a motion by Supervisor McCann and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Schwallenberg, do you want to speak to this one, or Supervisor Huffberger?
Yes,
All right.
thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
This program will fund a minimum of 200 hours for an intern to spend time conducting watercraft inspections at 2 boat landings in the county on Lake Winnebago. Program allows intern to spend time educating boaters, collecting and reporting data, and report on new or known aquatic invasive species. This program helps to prevent the introduction of aquatic invasive species and limit the spread of aquatic invasive species that may already be present. We are asking for permission to get a grant from the Department of Natural Resources. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there any other questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, please vote. I have a question from Supervisor Breeden.
Yeah, I guess my question is just, it says, now therefore let it be resolved that the county has budgeted a sum to sufficiently and fully and satisfactorily complete the project. Like what, I guess like what is that sum?
So it's a $4,000 grant. When the budget is adopted in November, that it will be included in the budget.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Breeden. Any other questions? Don't see any here. All right, please vote your ballot. Supervisor, all right, we have 21 yes, 0 nay, and so that resolution has been adopted. All right, moving on to supervisor reports. Anyone who's attended any meetings or seminars have anything to report, please press your button to request to speak. Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A little bit, some bad news and some good news. We went through the budget for human services, and unfortunately, we have 2 high-cost juveniles that are going to be in the budget for a few years, and they are really very expensive. They're both in juvenile facilities, I guess is the term. Also, I just read tonight that the measles count in the state has gone from 30 or up to 40. It was 15. It's 38 with 3 probable, and 40 of those 41 children are unvaccinated, and I believe they had read that 2 of them are hospitalized right now. We'll move on to parks. We had a Boy Scout, Eric Huffmeyer, completed his Eagle Scout project at County Park. He replaced the cross, as I'm sure some of you have seen, that's been there probably for 50 years, that was being chewed up by carpenter ants, and that area is also used for weddings. There may even be one there this weekend, I'm not sure. So that is done. We were happy to have him. If you've noticed our agenda, that we had the Brilliant Conservation Club has approached the parks about taking over their 3 boat landings. One is on Becker Lake, and the county owns land on the southern part of Becker Lake. That's one of our parks. The other one is Round Lake, which I believe is in the town of Brillion, and from that one you can see, if you've seen Aaron's barn, it's right across the lake from there. And the other one is Boot Lake, I think, because there is another lake that's there too that's called Grass Lake. We're still doing work, unfortunately, on Ledgeview, that we've run into some problems that need to be redone. Specifically, the floor is one of them. And I would like to thank you all for voting for the RO system so that we can continue to supply water to the southern end of the park and maintenance. And now, as I said, the really exciting news, and excuse me, I have to read this. One of the staff wrote it for me. A herd of goats recently joined the crew at the Calumet County Parks Department. The herd currently exists of 16 female goats in a variety of breeds, colors, and sizes. They were brought in to assist with the invasive species management. Calumet County Park is affected by buckthorn, phragmites, Dame's rocket, garlic mustard, all along with other invasives. The goats are proven to be a great resource for handling invasive plants. In fact, during this past week, the goats at County Park have been specifically targeting and eating the buckthorn. The goats are working in a designated area with a GPS perimeter controlled by, excuse me, a staff member. Each goat is equipped with an electrical collar similar to an invisible fence for dogs. They are very respectful of their boundaries excuse me again. And we ask the public to maintain their distance and neither feed nor pet the goats. We are not a petting zoo. These are working animals. And the little time they've been there, they've really cleared quite an area already. I'd like to eat, good for them. And I understand it's been on the paper and on TV and all over the place too, that these goats are there. So we welcome them. We've been talking about this for several years. And Adam has finally gotten them. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Swallenberg. You have the county, excuse me, Supervisor Breeden.
Back in July, I was reached out to by some constituents because they had Invenergy come to their door and talk to them about putting a natural gas power plant, 1,200 megawatts, in on County Road K. That's one of the sites that they were going to propose, and they just reached out to me with some concerns. I was actually able to meet with the project manager for that. He was a really nice guy. I had a really good conversation with him. And I think the main concerns I got from the constituents obviously were just water, visual, sound, light, and then just the values of their properties, and that making sure that those would be addressed. And so I brought those up with the project manager when I met with him, and he was very good at addressing those. I mean, some concerns he addressed, I think, better than others. But overall, it was very good. I did ask if he'd be willing to come and speak at one of our meetings, and that's, I think, TBD yet. He wasn't quite sure what he would be able to do, but was very great to work with, and I'm just going to try and continue to go to any meetings as they kind of become available, so that way I can just continue to be informed about this. So I do know they went knocked doors around County Road K, and they filed the engineering report for one spot in the town of Woodville, and then the spot on County Road K, which is in my district. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you for the information, Supervisor Breeden. Supervisor Booty.
Thank you very much. One highway committee item to report here. County Trunk Highway B, which was a project funded through our BIL grant, is now open for traffic from Sherwood to St. John. So feel free to give that one a drive. That was funded, I believe, 80% with federal funds. And so enjoy. One other item, from July 23rd and 24th, I attended the WCA County Board Chairs Training. We had a lengthy mock county board meeting hosted by Sarah Dietrich Kasdorf and Andy Phillips. It was both interactive and engaging and, dare I say, even somewhat entertaining. If you are attending the WCA annual conference this fall and you have nothing else to do, I would highly encourage you to attend the double session of the WCA mock county board meeting that they will be having there. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. There are no other ones, so do you have any questions regarding the county administrator's report? All right, if none, we have some appointees that need to be confirmed. Appointment to Fox Valley Workforce Development, recommend the appointment of Sara Cardina to fill that vacancy. The term will expire June 30th, 2029. I need a motion to confirm. I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Elliott. Are there any questions regarding that? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 21 yes, 0 nays, so that appointee has been confirmed. Our next regular meeting, Supervisor Schwallenberg, you had something to ask?
I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the September 15th meeting to begin at 5 p.m. in the Emergency Operations Center.
Hit your motion.
Hit my motion. Okay, sorry.
All right, is there a second?
Yep.
I have a motion by Supervisor Schmallenberg and a second by Supervisor Elliott. Let me explain what's happening. If this is approved, the EOC director would like to invite the board to a dinner, which would include pizza, chips, salad, and cookies. And we would meet prior to our county board meeting. He would also like to include a presentation at that event, talking about the March blizzard, the April the floods, and the July 27th tornado. So that's why we're asking for that to be the time change. Is there any questions regarding that? If not, please vote your ballot. Mr. Stuckman, would you vote, please? Thank you. Yours shut off as well? We'll have.
What's your vote?
Well, how would you vote? Yes, thank you.
Hold on. Give me a second. Doesn't let me do it either.
Won't let you do it either. Okay.
Jim? It doesn't let me put in
It's
his
not
vote
letting her
either.
do it either.
Usually I could just click here and it would drop down, but it doesn't do that. Weird, huh?
If we go back, would that mess it up?
We can try. I think it takes the voting out.
Would everyone have to revote?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Okay.
All right. We have to vote one more time.
All right. We're all right.
Okay, try again.
All right. Please vote your ballot again.
Sorry.
Supervisor Huffberger, thank you. 21 yes, 0 nay. All right, you will receive a invitation from the clerk's office because you will have to RSVP by September 9th. So look for that on your emails. It'll come from Amanda, from the administrator's office. So look for that and respond to it so that we know how many are going to be served. And with that, we have done everything on our agenda. Please have a safe